It canceled my Christmas, so I canceled their mortgage, keeping it immediate family this year. The chalet's tight. You understand. I stared at the bubble, bit back a reply that wanted to burn, saved the screenshot, and whispered, copy that. Years of being the broke one. The last-minute cancellations, the favors that turned into debts. I kept all the receipts, never used them. Until today. I grabbed my keys. I wasn't driving up to join them. I was driving up to finish a chapter I'd started a year ago when I stopped asking for invitations and bought peace instead. They planned a luxury Christmas without me in my chalet. Family roles and the Too Broke label. I used to think families wrote your first name in pencil and your role in Sharpie. Mine labeled me early, resourceful but unreliable. Translation: I could make things work on a shoestring, but if something needed careful hands, don't give it to me. My sister, Lena, got the golden light, organized, photogenic, the kind of person who color codes groceries. My brother-in-law, Nate, smiled like a warranty brochure. My parents loved me, sure, just with a running commentary, be practical, don't dream, we already helped you once. Money talk wasn't conversation in our house, it was stage direction. Dad would sigh, Mom would straighten a stack of coupons that didn't need straightening, and I'd hear, real life, kid, pick something safe. I did pick something safe, boring to them, steady to me. A job that paid on time. It didn't sound like a movie, but it kept the lights on. I added side hustles they laughed at. They'd throw parties. I'd be in the spare room editing listing photos until midnight, happy to make another $100 for being meticulous. First boundary cross? My apartment. A weekend, Lena texted when their building flooded. Weekend became a week became a month, and my freezer became a communal suggestion. I'd come home to my own couch being borrowed by Nate and 3 friends who had nowhere else to go. When I asked for a timeline, I got the family emergency tone. You know the one. It turns your no into a malfunction. It taught me more than any book. In our house, whoever cared most lost. So I stopped arguing and started documenting. A sane person's diary looks like feelings. Mine looked like timestamps. Promises. Screenshots. We'll fill your tank tomorrow. Circled. We'll pay you back by Friday. Starred. You're being dramatic. Underlined. I tucked those into a digital file named for a photo editor because the last sacred thing in our family was privacy if it sounded boring. The file just waited. They called me broke because I wasn't loud about money. Truth? I hate loud money. I like money that whispers, that shows up on the first and sits quietly in the back of the room counting compounding interest. I watched friends jump into crypto fireworks. I bought a decent coat, fixed my credit, and learned spreadsheets like they were a second language. Fun at parties? No. Useful when the world tilted? Absolutely. They weaponized be practical against my dreams while living their own as inevitabilities. When I floated the idea of real estate once, Dad snorted. Risky. The market eats kids like you. Like me meant people who don't have a soft landing. I shelved the conversation, not the plan. Then came the pattern, favors hardening into obligations. Lena borrowing my car for a day and returning it 2 weeks later with a new podcast obsession and a parking ticket that the city messed up. Mom asking if I could spot the deposit because Dad's card was updating. Nate needing my laptop while the repair gets sorted. My yes filled gaps, and the gaps learned to expect me. My no? That became the family's bat signal. We're all just trying our best, someone would text, and I'd become the villain in a story where the villain is simply a boundary. So a year ago, I bought a problem solver with cash flow. Quietly. I found an ugly duckling of a place. Foreclosure specials, cracked stucco, a roofline that looked tired. Perfect bones though. The kind of house that wanted to earn its keep if you fixed its shoes and stopped apologizing for it. I ran the numbers like prayer beads. Short-term rental income covers mortgage plus a cushion. Management company handles the churn. I signed with my LLC, the name that makes me invisible in guest paperwork. The only person I told was the property manager, Carla, because Carla needed to know where to send the checks. I promised myself no bragging until the house was paid off. No performative success posts. No dangling new keys in anyone's face. Peace over approval. I wasn't out to trap anyone with gotchas. My line was simple. I don't trap people. I enforce boundaries clearly. The rules live on the listing. The quiet hours aren't a vibe, they're policy. The maximum guests and ID requirements aren't suggestions, they're the price of peace. I learned to enjoy small, private victories. The first 5-star review. The message from a couple who got engaged on the deck. The night I stood in the kitchen and felt the house hold its own heat. It felt like finally stepping into a room where I wasn't the designated helper, just the owner. Back in the family chat, life went on. You coming to Lena's gender reveal? No. Can you pick up mom's dry cleaning? No. We need your Netflix. No. The less I explained, the louder the label got. Too broke to be generous. Too sensitive to be helpful. Too busy to be family. I kept cooking, kept paying principal, kept my phone on Do Not Disturb during their group emergency brainstorms. So when the disinvite text arrived, keeping it immediate family this year, the chalet's tight. You understand. My heart didn't crack. It clicked. It confirmed what I already knew. They liked me as a resource, not as a person. I heard the old script rev up, explain, apologize, comply, and I pressed leave. And they were about to spend Christmas inside a boundary I built. I didn't need revenge. I needed precision. I didn't need yelling. I needed a clock, a notice, a calm voice. I saved the screenshot, finished my coffee, and pulled up the file that has my favorite word at the top, owner. Inciting incident, the group chat ambush. My phone pinged at 7:12 a.m. with a rename I didn't authorize, Chalet Crew. The confetti animation did its little dance like it hadn't just rubbed salt in a wound I retired. Lena posted first, clinking hot chocolate mugs in the steam. Finally relaxing, she captioned, like relaxation had asked permission and she had granted it. Nate jumped in with a panoramic of my deck, mountain line crisp, hot tub fog lifting like stage mist. Matching pajamas appeared, buffalo plaid, everyone grinning. Mom's slippers in the corner. Dad's hand on the railing, I'd sanded myself. Dad, the same guy who calls 2 screws a project. A DM from Mom slid in a minute later. Don't worry, we'll FaceTime you when we can. When we can, like I was waiting on a back order of affection. I stared at the chat, watched the little typing bubble blink, disappear, blink again. Dad posted a boomer's eye view of the grill. My grill. Great lines perfect. Chef at work, he wrote. I could smell the propane from memory. I could also smell the lie that followed in the group thread. Lena, cheerful as a tax form. We tried to include you, but it's booked solid. Lena, cheerful as a tax form. We should know my calendar like I know the sound of my own front door latch. My portal is a pulse I check between coffee sips. I opened it without ceremony, thumb gliding to upcoming bookings. There it sat, a reservation for 7 nights, check-in 2 days ago, under a name I knew the way you know a favorite lie, Nate Grayson. The email attached was not his, but the alias he uses whenever he's trying to score a coupon twice. I scrolled to the ID on file. It didn't match. Guest count? 4 listed. Photos in the chat showed 6, maybe 7 if the toddler's friend counted as a half. Quiet hours triggered a warning at 12:43 a.m. A note from Carla. Neighbors called about music. Sent reminder text. A sin. Mistake hit like a flubbed symbol. A screenshot from Lena popped in for 2 seconds, my name in a different thread with the caption she's too broke for this vibe, followed by the text, delete, delete, delete. Then it vanished. The deletion notice remained like a grease stain. Dad reacted to his own grill photo with a thumbs up. Mom added a heart to the pajama shot. The chat rolled on, festive and oblivious. I didn't rage. Rage is fuel you spill on yourself. Anger is a map. I used it for directions, not a destination. I tapped call on Carla's contact. She answered on the second ring, voice brisk and awake. Morning, boss. Hold all calls, I said. Owners inbound. We've got an ID mismatch and occupancy breach. Also a quiet hours warning. I'll need access and documentation ready. Today we do clarity, not conflict. Copy. Want me to swing by? Give me 90 minutes. If I text you now, come to the door. If I text police, call them. Understood. I went back to the thread. They shifted to captions about, we deserve this, and self-care week, which was funny because they'd always defined my boundaries as selfishness, but somehow a chalet counted as therapy. I scrolled through the portal again, checked the housekeeping photos from before they arrived. Beds crisp, towels rolled. The welcome basket I stocked with local coffee and a note that says, "This house runs on kindness and quiet hours." The irony was so clean I could eat off it. Mom dropped a message privately, "Sweetheart, it's just better this way. It's too tight, and there's a lot of dynamics." The word people use when they mean you're hurt makes me uncomfortable. I typed back, "Copy." Simple. No ammunition given. Another ping, Nate, in the group, "Crazy how affordable this place is when you know where to look." I almost laughed. Affordable is a word people use when they underpay and assume the world is doing them a favor. He posted a screenshot of a third-party site with my listing blurred and a promotional code applied. The name on the booking in my portal told me he'd stacked discounts with the Alias. The math looked like a dare. Then the wrong thread curse struck twice. Dad sent a message intended for a private chat. "Don't tell her. She gets weird about money." The bubble hung there, unread by him. Vapor trail obvious to me. He unsent it. The damage was already done. The last confirmation chime I needed wasn't digital. It was physical. I pulled up the exterior camera feed, publicly disclosed on the listing, clearly labeled, pointed at the driveway. 6 adults, 2 kids, extra car not on file. A neighbor's porch light clicking on and off like a Morse code sign. My thumb hovered over a dozen replies. Clever, cutting, cathartic. I picked none. I let the thread scroll as a record. I slid the deed out of the printer tray where I tucked it after refinancing last month. I folded the notice of breach into my jacket pocket. I hit Carla's contact again. "Pack a clipboard. I'll see you at the side door," I said. She chuckled softly. "Christmas miracle?" "Boundary miracle," I said, and ended the call. The secret asset. How I owned the chalet. 3 winters ago, I was scrolling through listings like a bored raccoon rifling through trash and found a thumbnail nobody wanted. Squat house, peeling paint, windows like tired eyes. The description tried its best, great potential, which is real estate for brain bleach and a tetanus shot. I clicked anyway. Foreclosure. Bank owned. Days on market, ticking up like a countdown nobody respected. Ugly outside, perfect bones inside. The beams were thick, the layout clean, the fireplace original stone. It didn't need a vision board. It needed a wrench and someone who kept promises. The bank agent met me with a flashlight and low expectations. "Cold," she said, breath foggy. "Roof's questionable. Septic report is creative." She laughed at her own joke. I walked room to room, counting outlets, measuring with steps, listening to how the house held sound. The deck faced a slice of mountain that went lavender at 4 p.m. I asked the price. She shrugged. "You'd be the only offer this month." I made one. She blinked like I'd vandalized etiquette. "You really want this?" I didn't tell anyone. I didn't ask a committee. I ran the numbers in a spreadsheet with color codes that would make Lena proud. Mortgage at X, insurance at Y, taxes at Z, management at 10%, cleaning, consumables, a maintenance buffer that didn't pretend surprises were rare. Comp set said weekends would pay the note, peak season would tuck money away, off-season would hum along. I added a line named Sanity. Sanity is what you buy with margin. The inspection read like a grocery list: roof patching, 1 window seal blown, an outlet with wires that needed to choose a path and stick to it. Nothing fatal. I brought in a roofer who wore a beanie and optimism. "You treat her right, she'll treat you better," he said, patting the ridge like an old dog. The plumber whistled, replaced a run of pipe, and sent me a photo of clear water. I took my first deep breath in months. I formed the LLC because I like layers between me and other people's decisions. Paperwork put the house in Mountain Quiet, LLC, which sounds like a candle and acts like a firewall. The management agreement put Carla between me and midnight calls. She vetted cleaners who showed up early and sent synced photos that glowed. She labeled bins like a school supply aisle and taught the house to behave like a hospitality worker. We set rules that read like a handshake. Treat this place like you want to come back. I furnished slow. 2 trips in a borrowed truck. Facebook Marketplace scores. A couch that didn't pretend to be precious. Rug pads so nobody ice skated on the hardwood. I resisted the influencer urge. No neon signs, no twee slogans, just wood, wool, and light. I stocked basics that felt generous without getting flashy. Good coffee, thick towels, a first aid kit that assumed knees meet stairs. I put a tiny screwdriver in the junk drawer because somebody always needs one and nobody ever has one. Reviews trickled in like shy compliments. Clean, quiet, perfect getaway. The host left Coco. The deck at sunrise made us cry. A couple sent a photo of their engagement ring on the banister. I saved it in a folder called House Joy. When a guest messaged that a pan's handle was loose, Carla had a replacement there before they finished breakfast. When someone asked if the TV had HDMI, we added an extra cable and labeled it. Peace is systems plus kindness plus consequences. They didn't know because I learned the family economy early. The more you show, the more they invoice your soul. The one time I said I'm looking at property, Dad didn't even let the sentence sit. Risky. The market eats kids like you. Like me meaning salary without backup. I smiled, changed the subject, and continued anyway. I'm not hiding. I'm choosing quiet. There's a difference they never bothered to learn. Payments landed. I didn't post screenshots. I didn't toast with keys for the camera. I watched principal drop and exhaled. The house became a habit, not a brag. I kept a file of small, boring miracles. A new smoke detector chirping exactly once at install and then never again. A handyman who sent an itemized invoice without being asked. A neighbor who waved instead of complained. The house taught me to love the unglamorous. Salt for the steps, lint filters cleared, a door latch smoothed with graphite. I set my ethical line in ink. No traps, no tricks. The listing says exactly what the house expects, how many bodies, how much quiet, what kind of respect. If a guest breaks a rule, the consequence isn't personal, it's procedural. I don't argue. I point to the policy. I don't embarrass. I enforce. It's not vengeance, it's maintenance. On closing day, I stood in the empty living room and whispered the only vow that mattered: peace over approval. Approval is applause you can't hear when you need it. Peace is heat in the walls and a lock that clicks. I ran my hand along the mantle's cold stone and felt how steadily it held. I promised to hold just as steady. Decision from petty to precise. I won't lie, my first impulse was pure theater. Post the deed in the Chalet crew, add a snowflake emoji, let them choke on it. Petty has a heartbeat, but Petty doesn't hold aftercare. Petty feeds them a story where I'm the villain who made Christmas about money. Precise hands them a mirror with timestamps. I chose the mirror. Aim clarified. No public humiliation. Accountability with receipts. Offer dignity at the door. Document whatever they choose next. If they choose peace, we all get to keep our faces. If they choose chaos, I keep my paper trail. I opened notes and wrote 3 sentences I would not wander from. 1. You are in breach of the guest policy, unauthorized occupants, ID mismatch, quiet hours violation. 2. I'm offering a full refund if you leave within 20 minutes, I'll help carrybacks. 3. If you refuse, I will proceed with a lock change and a police report per ordinance. I read them aloud till my voice lost its tremor. No extras. No weepy childhood footnotes. Clean blade. Carla texted photos from the neighbor complaint log so I could staple the timeline to the truth. 12:43 a.m. Music audible at property line. 12:48 a.m. Reminder sent to guest. 106 a.m. Music lowered. It wasn't a crime spree. It was disrespect by inches, which is exactly how my family always measured. Legal prep next. I pulled up the municipal short-term rental ordinance, highlighted the clause that says guests are licensees, not tenants. Eviction law doesn't apply. Trespass does after notice. The guest policy, signed via the booking site, identified rule breaches as grounds for immediate termination. The ID mismatch flagged fraud. I saved PDFs to a folder named Christmas Boundaries because, yes, I am that person now. I printed 2 copies of the notice of termination for cause, filled in the reservation number, the alias, the exact time window I'd be generous with. I stuck a post-it on each with "read first" in thick letters. I checked the batteries in my body cam. Legal, announced, a boundary with memory. I don't plan to post a frame of footage. It's for me, so that's not what happened that always follows. Temptation made one last pass. The curve of the deed in my bag, the urge to walk in and drop it like a gavel. Not yet. The deed is a finale, not an opener. Openers should be unarguable. Policy, clock, offer, consequence without cruelty. I pictured Lena's smirk, Nate's legalese confidence, Dad's righteous baritone. I pictured all of it hitting the glass of my 3 sentences and sliding off. Emotional prep sat heavier than the law. I have a lifetime reflex. Explain until the room softens. Apologize for being hurt. Trade my dignity for temporary quiet. I put my hand on the steering wheel and said out loud, no yelling, no defending the past. Calm is the sharpest knife. I practice silence after every provocation. It's Christmas. Silence. You're cruel. Silence. You're cruel. Silence. You blindsided us. Silence. Offer repeated. Timer tapped. I called Carla. Confirm occupancy? I asked. 6 adults, maybe 7, 2 kids, she said. 2 cars registered, 3 on site. House looks clean enough from what I can see through the legal camera angles. Damages so far? Minor. A scuff on the stair, a wine ring on the coffee table. We'll fix it in an hour. There was a noise warning at 1. They complied after the nudge. Copy. Any sign they know? 0. They're posting like influencers. Want me at the curb at T-15? Be 2 streets down. I'll text now. If Dad says police, you're my witness. If they try to outlawyer me, I'll text you the ordinance number to read back. Carla laughed, softly. You do vengeance like a spreadsheet. It's not vengeance. It's maintenance, I said, and felt the truth of it settle my shoulders. I packed a small tote, extra trash bags, spare keys, a roll of painter's tape to label piles as I sorted their things. I slid a hotel voucher into the folder. 2 rooms, 2 nights, breakfast included. My compromise wasn't theater either. It was an exit ramp paved and lit. Leave now. Keep your pride. Tell whatever story you need on the ride down the mountain. Narrative freedom is fine. Just not in my house. I checked my phone one more time. The thread was a parade of cocoa and captions about deserving rest. I deserved rest too. Rest looks like policy followed and doors that close quietly. I set a silent alarm labeled timer ends because adrenaline, not memory, would be running the show. Before I grabbed my coat, I opened the House Joy folder and let a sunrise photo touch my eyes. The deck in pink light, the ridge a dark brushstroke, the railing clean. I whispered, hold steady, to wood and stone. Then to myself, hold steady. I turned off the lamp, locked my apartment, and walked into a morning that smelled like snow and consequence. The drive, rehearsal, and resolve. Snow started low and mean, a steady sift that turned the highway into a chalk line. The switchbacks climbed like slow questions. My breath fogged the windshield at each stop sign, a small weather system inside my car. I kept the cabin playlist low, acoustic covers that sound like they're apologizing for being catchy. Wipers ticked to time. I let them. 3 miles in, I started the lines. You were in breach of the guest policy, unauthorized occupants, ID mismatch, quiet hours violation. I'm offering a full refund if you leave within 20 minutes. I'll help carry bags. If you refuse, I'll proceed with a lock change and a police report per ordinance. Say it. Breathe. Say it again. Sand the edges off each word until nothing could snag. Last Christmas, I ate takeout pad thai on my couch under a blanket that smelled like laundry and a little like dog from the pet sitting I do when someone's out of town. Lena texted, mix-up. We thought you were with friends. I stared at the exclamation point until it felt like a fire alarm I couldn't silence. I watched a baking show that kept saying prove and thought about proving myself to people who grade on a curve they refused to show me. I fell asleep at 9, woke up to a photo of the family around a tree I didn't know existed. This year, the tree was mine, the garland I wound tight, the warm bulbs I tested. The difference between then and now was a lock I owned. A curve approached, tight as a fist. I eased down, upshifted, practiced silence. It's Christmas. The words came in my father's voice, the good man baritone that could sell anything. Silence then, offer repeated. Timer tapped. The curve passed. A snowplow glowed ahead, a moving sunrise. I tucked in behind it, grateful for the clean stripes it left. Memory hopped the median, the car they borrowed for 2 weeks. The first week was, we'll bring it back Friday. The second was, the shop is waiting on a part. The part turned out to be attention. It came home with a new dent and an empty tank. We'll sort you out, Nate said, like a waiter comping a dessert. They never did. I learned the taste of swallowed words. Today's menu was different. I had receipts. I had a road. My phone buzzed on the dash. Dad in buffalo plaid again, tongs like a scepter. He'd captioned it, King of the Mountain. My grill. My deck. I smiled because it was almost funny. The house had a sense of humor. It waited patiently while people claimed it for their Instagram and then handed me 5-star reviews when I asked politely for quiet. People are wild. Houses are consistent when you take care of them. Rehearsal again. If they say I blindsided them, I say, the policy is not a surprise. If they say I'm cruel, I say I'm offering a refund and help. If they say I hid this, I say I'm offering a refund and help. If they try to make me litigate childhood, I stare at the mantle and think of stone. Calm is the sharpest knife.